Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III here with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. It's Monday morning, and I hope you've gotten your week off to a good start already. I hope you've gotten up, gotten a workout. Either way, I want to talk to you today about creating an empowering identity, a self-definition that can help to guide your destiny. So we're going to talk a little bit about identity today, and I hope that you get some great value out of it. And let's go ahead and get started. So the quote of the day today through the Daily Mastermind mobile app is from Lisa Jimenez. And the quote is pretty simple. It's failure plus failure equals success. Failure plus failure equals success. Obviously, a common theme on the podcast here, we talk about failing 5 times faster and failure being the gateway to success. But I think it's a great quote today in order to lead us into our topic, which is your identity. And your identity is so important because so many people get caught up in defining themselves and their identity by their past or by their failures. And today I want to really talk to you about creating a true self-empowering definition of your identity. So as you know, for the last couple of weeks at least, we've been talking about concepts out of the Creating Your Ultimate Destiny program by Robert Stuberg. And over the last couple of weeks, we've talked about what is your destiny and how it's defined by your beliefs. And we've talked about how to live your destiny through empowering decisions. And then we spent a little bit of time on these destiny-shaping decisions and how taking action can really create your ultimate destiny. So today what I want to do is I want to talk to you about redefining or clearly defining your identity through something that will help to be more empowering for you, your true self. Now, the reason I think that identity is such a great topic, I myself have had many challenges with identity over the years. You know, I think when you're in a very prominent, dominant industry of sales, marketing, business, entrepreneurship, and listen, this extends to anyone, whether you're a mother, a father, whether you're dealing with relationship identity, whatever it is. But let me tell you a little bit about myself because as some of you know my background, I got married real young with twins. I started working pretty full-time right out of high school. I actually got started really young as a young entrepreneur doing all kinds of different things for another time, maybe great stories there. But my identity for most of my life had been determined by my career and by my profession. And you know, it's a combination of the fact that I went into the workforce so quickly and also from the fact that, you know, I just love recognition, validation, success, accomplishment. I'm a very driven, goal-oriented person. But as many of you know from my story, over time, you know, I realized that success was not necessarily giving me the happiness and fulfillment I wanted. So what I did is I sort of transitioned into just living a life that was happier, hoping that that would really do it for me. And ultimately, what I realized is that the ups and downs and cycles of life create that chaos and unhappiness. And eventually I realized that, you know, success is not to be pursued. It's to be attracted by the person that you become. And although this is obviously a lifelong process that you go through, I definitely realized that shifting my identity was really the key. Because what you do is not who you are. And what you've been through is not who you are. Maybe you've had circumstances and situations in your life that have kind of defined you, whether it's conscious or subconscious. But what we need to realize is that the way you were brought up, your environment, your background, your talents, all of those things, even your beliefs, none of those are your identity. The bottom line is your identity and who you are is exactly who you decide to be. Who you decide to be. And that's a really important distinction. So today I want to talk to you about how your identity is really made up of what Robert would say is 3 levels of influence, 3 separate, distinct areas that make up your identity. And you may not have given much thought to these. The first area is your background. Your background is made up of all of your individual characteristics. These are the characteristics like, you know, what you look like, where you're from, your environment, you know, things that are individual natures that you have inside yourself. This is your background information. The second level of basically what influences your identity is your beliefs. Your beliefs have truly shaped you. These are ideas, unfortunately, that we have arbitrarily given situations and circumstances in our life. And it's what's really important to believe and understand about this level is that your beliefs can be changed at any time. And even though we may be guided by our beliefs that we've sort of adopted throughout our life, we can change those beliefs, those limiting beliefs at any given time. The third area the third area of influence on your identity is your conscious self-definition. And this is an area that many people I've come across have never really truly thought about and have never really identified, because this is the management level of your identity. This is the level of your identity that orchestrates the other two levels of your identity. And so what's really important is for you to first start by understanding that there are three distinct things that make up your identity. Instead of just accepting what you feel your identity is, really truly understand that, number one, your background does make up a certain portion of your identity. But number two, your beliefs will heavily influence what your identity is, but your beliefs can be changed at any time through a process. And third, your conscious self-definition, what you tell yourself you are and who you tell yourself you are. Those are all three areas that go into your identity. And so many of us underplay this third area of being, setting a conscious self-definition. So it's very important that you learn to create an empowering self-definition for yourself, because your empowering self-definition is going to help shape those other two areas that you may or may not have much control over that shape your identity. And why is it so important to have this, this self-definition? Well, it's certainly going to shape those other areas, but it will help to eliminate any disempowering or self-limiting beliefs that you might have in that second area. That second area of beliefs that you've sort of given circumstances and situations in your life. But also, more importantly, creating a self-definition that's empowering will help to shield you from any negativity from outside your world, right? From people around you. And it helps you to see your own infinite self-worth and potential. And so it's very important that you learn to create an empowering self-definition. So let's review this really quick. There's three areas that are going to make up your identity and influence who you are, who you truly are, because you can determine what your identity is. You determine that. So you've got your background information, you've got your beliefs that have shaped you, and you've got your conscious self-definition. So here's what I want you to do this week. This is sort of the challenge that I want to give you. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and if you have to write these down, write them down or come back to them. But I want you to think really clearly and ask yourself these questions. What do you think about yourself? What is it that you truly think about yourself when you sit down and no one else is around? Write down what you think about yourself. Also, what do you say about yourself to other people? Do you consciously say things like, oh, I always do this and I never do that? And what is it that you actually say about yourself? Because this will help you to understand how you feel and how you've shaped your identity. The next thing is, what do your actions say about you? Because it's important if you say certain things but you do something different, it's important to understand what you think about yourself, what you say about yourself to other people, and what your actions reflect about you. And then finally, what do you think other people think about you? Because sometimes we really need to take a hard look in the mirror and we have to understand, what is it that we think other people think about us? Now, how do all of these answers affect and influence your life? You got to think through that. Look at these answers and really spend some time and try to understand the way you're seeing yourself in the world, the way other people are seeing you, and really break down all three levels of your identity. Sit down and think about what your individual background information is and your characteristics and your traits. Sit down and write out what your beliefs, even if they're limiting beliefs, what they are. And try to write down some empowering beliefs, things that you believe that you can kind of shift. And then third, what I want you to do, and here's the challenge I want to make for you. I want you to identify some empowering characteristics, some empowering beliefs that you want to structure into your life, and some empowering things that you would like to manage into your identity. And I want you this week to create an empowering self-definition for yourself. Create that identity. I am someone who inspires, motivates, and influences those around me. I support and help those around me. I create impact and passion in the world. I am this. I am that. I want you to create an empowering self-definition for yourself. And if you have any questions on this, look, there's a whole chapter on this inside the Creating Your Ultimate Destiny book. So you can go to jointheevolution.com, and get a copy of this book. I've already paid for the book. You don't have to pay for it. You just cover the shipping. I'll ship you one of these books. I think we even have the option for you to be able to get a download of it, so you can do that as well. But this week, I want you to truly prioritize your identity, and more importantly, break down your identity and create an empowering self-definition for yourself. And then write that down and have it and repeat it and use that as one of your daily affirmations. And I think what's going to happen is you're going to find that this self-empowering definition will help to drive you on the course towards your ultimate destiny. That's my hope. I hope that you've learned something here today. I want you to do me a favor and share this episode. Just share it share it on your stories on IG. Tag the Daily Mastermind. Tag me. Respond to me. I want to see you share this because I think this identity is something that's holding a lot of people back, and I really want to make a lot of impact with this particular episode. So that's my message for today. Work on that empowering self-definition and have an amazing week. I look forward to talking with you more tomorrow. This is the Daily Mastermind, and my name is George Wright III. Have a great day.